Hannah Rutherford.
Faith Rutherford.
Doris Rutherford.
Daniel Rutherford Sr.
Donna Taylor.
Hello everyone, my name is Brian Taylor, and I'm here to talk to you today about what to look for when buying a used vehicle. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I should have checked it more thoroughly before making such a big financial decision. Maybe you have one now and you plan to buy one in the future. This is not an unlikely situation to find yourself in. This slide shows you the number of new vehicles sold by brand, and we can see Ford is number one. Anyways, I was saying, it's not an unlikely situation to find yourself in because experts at Edmunds calculated that nearly 40 million used cars were sold in the United States last year, compared to 80 million new cars sold last year, according to Daniel Petrascu at Auto Evolution. This means that 1 in 3 cars sold in the United States are used. With such high odds, my purpose today is to make you, the potential buyer, informed about what to look for when purchasing a used vehicle. I want to guide you through the series of events leading to the purchase and focus on key items along the way, such as the meeting, the importance of a cold start, a 360 inspection, test drive, and lastly, the decision. To give you an idea of my background, I've been driving for 15 years and own more than 10 vehicles, with only one being new. I've done maintenance myself on every vehicle except for the new one to avoid voiding the warranty. In addition to my own experience, I've also done extensive online research using sites like Edmunds, CarBrain, and AutoEvolution.com, to name a few. Now that that's out of the way, let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to meet someone, either a sales representative or an individual. Sales representatives work for a dealer, and they're involved in conducting business as their bottom line. They just need to sell a vehicle. I've met sales reps that I've liked and those that I didn't. If you're not comfortable with your sales rep, I suggest asking for another one. If another one is not available, I'd recommend leaving the dealership. Alternatively, you might be meeting an individual. When you're meeting an individual, it's important to determine if they're trustworthy. If they're not trustworthy, I recommend paying close attention during the following events. Say you've met someone. Now let's get started looking at the vehicle in question. The first thing we're going to do is attend the cold start, and it's absolutely imperative to be there. But before the cold start, you want to check the oil in the vehicle. If your oil is way down here or you don't even see it, I wouldn't recommend starting the vehicle. Oil like this is new and is in between these lines. That's a good sign of a well-maintained vehicle. If the oil is black like this, that's a sign of poor maintenance. And even a couple of shades darker than this indicates normal wear and tear. So just to name a few. Yeah, so it may need some help getting started, which could be a bigger issue is at hand. Some of the bigger issues are the battery has lost its voltage and needs to be recharged, or the battery could be dead and needs to be replaced. If it needs help getting started, it's important to note the issue for later on. It could even be the alternator is wore out and needs to be replaced, or the electrical system has a fault, which can be very expensive. It's important to witness the cold start to see if any extraordinary measures are needed just to get the vehicle cranked. Once the vehicle is running, you're ready for the next event, the 360 walk around. The first thing you're going to want to do is honk the horn to make sure it works. Turn on the headlights and the emergency signals. What I do is I start at the driver rear and make a note of any damage, scratches, odd sounds, and I make a note of each tire as I go, such as like the tread life, the type, the size, and such things. I've made this slide to show you that you can use a penny to check the tread on your tires. You place the penny head down in between the tread. If you can't see the head, that means your tire is good. If you're starting to see the hair or the entire head is visible, that's a sign that your tire is worn out and needs to be replaced. And a Business Insider correspondent, Benjamin Zhang, noted that there are 7 warning signs that your tires need to be replaced, such as improper wear and dry rot. So, and then after I move across the driver's side, I pass across the front to make sure that the lights and the signals are working, also listening for any odd sounds. And then I just make way across the passenger side in reverse order, and then along the back. When I get to the back, it's important to notice the exhaust. Is there a color? Is there an odor? Either of the two indicates a large issue, a major issue. Magnus Sellen, a diagnostic specialist, identified 6 possible repairs required if smoke is present in the exhaust. 2 of which could be a faulty head gasket, a broken head gasket, or a bad exhaust gas regulator, or EGR. The 360 walk around is complete. Now let's get ready for the test drive. Oh, the test drive is just as important as the cold start. You need to make sure if the vehicle is operational. The first thing I check is if the gauges work. Then I check to see if the air conditioning and the heat works. Does the vehicle idle at the correct RPM? Does it make any weird sounds? Do the brakes work as they should? And a key aspect to the test drive is checking the transmission. Does it properly shift into every gear? If so, does it do so with ease or with hesitation? Transmission repairs require a specialized technician and are likely to be the most expensive repairs. A comprehensive guide at CarBrain states that there are 6 different warning signs that your transmission needs to be replaced. Some of those warning signs are rough shifts and odd sounds. Once satisfied with the operation of the vehicle, proceed and start the final event. You've made it, the finale. This is the decision. What you're going to want to do is tally up your notes from the previous events. The more negative notes you have, the further from the asking price you should be. The less negative notes you have, the closer to your asking price you should be, within reason. You should discuss your negative notes with the seller and use them to come up with an appropriate price. If you're comfortable with the price, you could be the owner of a used vehicle. In conclusion, I've guided you through 5 events you should attend and key things you should focus on before purchasing a used vehicle. Just to recap, we talked about the meeting, whether it's going to be an individual or a sales rep, the importance of a cold start, noticing if there's any extreme measures needed to start the vehicle, 360 walk around just to check everything, the test drive, focusing on the transmission, and lastly, the decision. I hope this has given you the confidence to avoid overpaying for an inadequate vehicle. You can also use this information on your current vehicle to see if it's up to standard. You wouldn't want to find yourself broken down on the side of a highway, or can't get to work because your vehicle won't start. Or I've even seen this before. The fire company, the fire station had to come out and put out a vehicle that was engulfed in flames. So thank you for your time and good luck on your next purchase. Thank you.